Hello, this is going to try and be quite a quick video. It probably will end up not being a quick video. I certainly didn't spend very long setting up. This is why I'm still half asleep. You join me in my bed. I'm preparing equipment that I've been using filming over Christmas. Filmed on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, Christmas Eve. And I was filming a program about dogs being rescued for one of the broadcasters in this country, in the UK. And I was using like very standard kit. As a self-shooting PD, your role is very much to capture the images, think about the sound, direct the people you're speaking to, but also be asking questions, directing the narrative, on putting the conversation down a route you want to go so that you don't overshoot. And also you have to make sure you get all the cutaways, so you're editing the thing in your head as well. So in order to do that, as a self-shooting PD, I'm very conscious of not letting any contributor observe me being distracted from them. Because that's just rude. You know, there's nothing worse than going, oh, just hold on a second and fiddling around with your peaking or your white balance or whatever. So it's really important to me that the camera equipment, which I'm going to show you in a second, is set up so that it works, it's good to go, and there's no faffing around at all. So I use various different cameras. This is the Canon XF305, which is probably the worst of the lot. A Canon C300, which has its faults because lack of interchangeable lens, having to do all the interchangeable lens thing. I also use an F800, a Sony F800 or F700, which would be my absolute preference for filming, especially because it has 4 tracks of audio. So this is the Canon XF305, and look at the mess. Look at the mess I've made of it. Now I've completely doctored this to suit myself. What you get normally is just the camera and you get the mic. But I kind of like rig it to suit me. I replaced the headphones, I put really cheap headphones in there. And actually I would have used just my iPhone or iPad earbuds, but I couldn't find them, so I just used these crappy old things. For me, it's all about weight, it's all about efficiency, and it's all about rigging the camera so that it works for you. So just to take you through how I've rigged this camera, the first thing you'll see, probably you'll notice, is these two bad boys here. So this is two microphones I've rigged to the top on a little T-bar, which are on the sort of the horseshoe, what's it called, the horseshoe flash slot. Don't know what it's technically called. Don't care either, I've got to say. Now when I got this, the directional microphone here, it's too thin for the container. So what I did was I just attached a little magic arm. Really quick job, just holding that tightly in place so it didn't wobble about. Lots of handling noise from this microphone, although really essential. Most of the time I was just filming a vet. So what I would do is just have, don't know what that's there for. I would just have I would put this microphone here on channel 1 of the audio. The switch is all set to external on channel 1 of the audio, and I put the radio mic number 1, you see I've numbered them. Radio mic 1 will go into channel 2, and I also set up the headphone socket to always be listening to channels 1 and 2. When I got this camera, somebody had set it to just listening to channel 1 so that they had the radio mic in both ears. I think it's really important that you always listen to both audios, because you never know when you need to swing it around to get the voice of somebody who walks into the room and interacts with the person. If you're filming actuality, that is. While we're talking about the headphones, I always purchase one of these things here. This just allows for the fact that when you've got these on your head and you put the camera down, it's always going to happen that you yank this cable will get yanked out of the camera and you'll break your headphones. Regardless of how good your headphones are, there's nothing worse than you snapping the lead on your headphones so you can't monitor the audio. So I put this springy thing in. It's only like a couple of pound and it's really nasty. It's not professional quality at all, but it does the job, and when it breaks you buy another one. I've always got a second radio mic in case I've got like 2 main contributors and I have the time, or they have the time. I'll put a radio mic on the second contributor as well, which means just basically unplugging that and then plugging this one in. Sorry, I didn't show you what I did. I just unplugged the boom mic and plug in the second radio mic here so that I can monitor both radio mics. What else can I tell you about this? I noticed the person who had used this had set actual levels on the audio here and then put some tape over it. I always set the audio levels on this kind of gig on any camera to manual, automatic, sorry. If you set it to manual, you will nudge these, you'll make a mistake. Auto is usually absolutely fine, and if people don't like it, then hire a sound recordist. I've never had any complaints or problems with just setting it on auto for the audio levels. I've got enough to worry about, and that is usually a good assurance for me that the audio levels are right. It seems to have some sort of built-in limiter. I couldn't tell you for sure, but it certainly does the job for me. The other important thing to say is down here you have your A and B white balance presets. I always set B to kind of being like indoors, like an indoor preset. And then I set A to look, well, I usually set it to Kelvin, color temperature, so I can just press the button here, the white balance button, and then use the jog wheel to use my eye to adjust the color temperature so that it suits me. I like to do that sort of manually down there, and again I would do this on all cameras. The rest of the camera is completely set to manual, nothing on auto at all, and I noticed that whoever used this before me has put some tape over there. I don't really have a problem with it, although I did have to check to make sure everything was on manual, and it was, so I was happy with that. Oh, the other thing that took me a day to find out was I like to use the rocker, so I can do slow creeps in when somebody's talking about something emotional. I can do a slow creep into their face to make it a little bit more intense. I couldn't find the switch. I was, searching PDFs of the manual for this camera, but the jogger or ring switch is there. So you put it there to jogger, put it there to rocker, put it there to ring. If you put it on ring, you can sort of adjust it from here, the zoom from there, which is also useful. This has got NT filter onto 3. Never used the filters. I find this camera tends to be a little bit spongy. And that's pretty much it. Apart from to say, is my trusty, and I've made videos about this before, my trusty shoulder mount, which if I just screw it in real quick, do it down here, because I'll tell you, this is not easy to do because it's so damn heavy. It's not heavy at all, I'm just not very strong. There you go. So I attach my shoulder mount, which is this bad boy here. I hold the camera, you can see I can just loosen it there. This is only like 20 quid on Amazon. I recommend you buy several of them, because although I've never had one break yet, and that just frees me up to sort of adjust microphones on people and to do certain things, and also just to speak to them as a person and try and detract. I don't want the contributor to be thinking about this camera. It's all about me and them to get the very best interview. So I like the shoulder mount because it just frees me up, frees my hands up. I can do whatever while the camera's still sitting on my shoulder. So it's and also it helps you keep it very, very stable. By the way, I always set the camera to powered, what's it called? Powered steady shot. Is it steady shot? But I try and keep it. It makes it quite fluidy, which some people don't like. Which means when you stop, it will sort of wobble a little bit as it finds itself. I've got so used to it that I can manage it so it doesn't wobble so much. It's really good because when you're having to do big close-ups of something, like I was filming operations of dogs, so I was doing really in tight, showing somebody stitching up a dog, and I was very grateful for that powered sort of steadying capability, because that meant that it looked cracking. I was very happy with it. Focus is never on auto, of course, it's always here, so I can shoot through cables and things of close-ups of eyes and whatnot. And finally, really, so you got the contributor's radio mic, it's always in your pocket, so you're kind of like ready to go whenever. And in my other pocket, I have this. This is just cleaning stuff. Nothing worse than having a dirty lens. So always clean it. I can't stand seeing footage where it's got like, you're fully zoomed, because when you're fully zoomed out, it will focus on the glass. And if you've got dirt on your glass, it will be noticeable. And you might not notice it on this rather rubbish monitor here, which nobody uses these anymore. Everyone uses these. And you might not notice it. So always make sure that's clean, especially if you've been out and it's been raining. There's other stuff I can show you, like I may also have a top light fitted at some point, but that's basically it. The T-bar, the little springy cable, manual settings, and always monitor both tracks of audio. That's it, my top tip for self-shooting PDing.